Hi, I'm Lyman. Welcome to my channel. I'm a tennis player, I guess you can call me that. I'm currently a 3.5. We're towards the end of the year. I have a chance of getting bumped up to 4.0, but I'm trying to get better. I want to get to 4.5, and I think, to be honest, I'm like at that 3.5, like 4.0 middle, and there's so much work that needs to be done. My past has been I started playing USTA in 2020. I played one tournament, and then in 2021, I joined League. So it was definitely an experience. I've never played League before. The team dynamic, and there's just so much good competition, right? And I've been playing, and I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. I tried looking for coaches, um, and my practice were never structured, and we just play. So now that I've been working with my brother, he's a 5.0, and Bryce is he played club at college, and he's been helping me. He's been guiding me and just giving me little tips here and there. I found a coach that I'm working with as well, but Bryce said you should maybe document this journey, because I said I want to get to a higher level. I want to play at a higher level, and I'm definitely not young anymore. So it's going to be a little bit more challenging. I don't have as much time to dedicate, but I'm going to find a way to build build out my journey, and with focus and with the help of my brother, I think we can get there. At least we're going to make a good attempt. If I end up at a high 4.0, I'm happy too. But I think anything is possible, and this is the start of my journey. And hopefully, if you keep following, and there's so many of us that are 3.0, 3.5s, and 4.0s that maybe never thought that we could be 4.5s. So if you want to follow along our journey, and you'll see the drills that I'm going to do, the footwork that I definitely need to improve on. This video is really going to go over where I'm at now, and what we're going to plan out for the next year. So we're going to go hop on Zoom with Bryce, and he's going to break down everything. And I, to be honest, I'm going to be okay with the feedback, and um, I I want to get better, so I need to take the hits, and I need to fail, and I need to put in the effort. So let's get to it, and let's go chat with Bryce and see what we got. All right, so I'm here with Bryce, uh, and he's currently in Spain. and,
Yep. Yeah.
and I'm really excited about this, Bryce. Like, and you're the one that actually suggested to do the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's like a good idea to kind of record where you're at. And I think a lot of other people are going through the same process, or maybe like without the help of someone in their immediate family who like has so much more insight, or like is at a higher level that they can give you advice well enough. Um, so like a lot of people I think are just on their own, or like with friends at the similar level, and maybe they're stuck somewhere. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
so I think it just could be helpful. Yeah.
yeah, I definitely felt like that for the last couple of years. I always hit with the same people, and then Leslie, like I hit with him, and he kind of complains like, hey, you always have to hit with better people to get better. And when I first start, I don't know if I have video of like hitting with Leslie like two or 3 years back, and you know, um, and I had a lot of trouble with his pace. And you know how he smacks the hell out of the ball. I'm sure we'll see that somewhere in the videos, but
Yeah.
yeah, cool. And Bryce, you want to share a little bit about your tennis journey?
Yeah. By the way, I'm not to say like I'm the expert that you should be referring to. It's just like when you have your level, like even at the level I'm at, it's always hard to find somebody who's a lot better than you to like not only hit with, but also to like settle down time and give you like advice on like a very detailed level. Like for me, that's difficult to find as well. So, um, about myself, let's see. I started playing when I was like what, 5 or 6? Do you remember?
Yeah,
More or
I think
less.
I should look. We'll post the video of like when you first started playing. I have it somewhere actually.
I yeah, I think our dad was just super excited and wanted like a Grand Slam champion somewhere. And I started playing when I was in Shanghai when I was like 5 or 6. I've been playing since then, like never really stopped except for like maybe right like first year of college. And I tried playing first, I guess like when I was like 11 or 12, like trying to be a competitive like ATP player, like winning Wimbledon or something like that. That was the goal at least. Um and then I think with the coaching tactics, I kind of burned out pretty fast. Um, and then I kind of moved and went to the United States, and I played junior tennis at NorCal, USTA, and played tournaments. Like I think I had some success here and there. I just wasn't really practicing or like super dedicated to it because I think at some point it was obvious, at least to myself, that like if at the time the goal is to like play D1 or whatever to get to a good college, but like for me it was just a lot easier at some point that my grades seemed good enough to go to college and not have to train every day. Um and I just think with the training beforehand, I kind of burnt out, so I didn't really play as much, but I think I still played at a good level. Like most of my friends went to play D1. And then I played college club tennis at Berkeley, and that was fun. Good team environment. Graduating, I guess now I play 5-0, more or less. So yeah, it's kind of it. Play for fun. I recently crashed on my bike, so now I'm recovering from my shoulder injury, but otherwise, yeah, just play for fun.
Well, I'm glad you're still playing tennis, uh, and I think you know we've never been very like we've always been like far away, and uh, we've I think we've reconnected over tennis quite a bit, and I think our entire family has. So I want to say it's kind of bringing everybody together a little bit.
I'm caught off guard by how it brings people together, or bring our family together. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty caught off guard.
Yeah, well, I didn't think about it that way at all until like recently, and I never really enjoyed tennis until maybe about 3 years ago when I actually started to play, trying to play competitively. Like before, I would hit the ball with dad here and there, and like we'd play what once a year, if that,
Yeah,
altogether.
something like that.
So, but yeah, I'm excited to do this. I think this would be a fun journey. If nobody watches it, who cares? But at least hopefully I can get to 4-5 one day, and we'll see how that goes. I have to get to 4-0 first.
Yeah, I mean you're almost there. I feel like 4-5, you're kind of fine tuning some skills, but otherwise, like uh strategy wise, there's not really much of a strategy, or like people aren't super um what's the word? Like I don't want to be mean.
You can be
uh
mean. You have like full it's okay to be mean because like going through the videos, like I expect nothing but like feedback, and like if if you're not upfront, it's or
right, yeah, that's true. Okay. I think like 4-5 is like that bound their USTA like ranking, or like level a lot, and like how hard they hit the ball or something like that. Like they're not like they're not intuitive. They are moving intuitively sometimes, but they're not intuitively or like very on a higher level of like cognizance about the ball that I mean that you don't really need to have in your life, but like there's just like a distinct difference like how people move around, um like getting beyond 4 or 5 or getting beyond this thinking of like what level am I, um that hopefully you'll have at some point in this journey. So there's a lot of like things that people at 4 or 5 I guess don't have that are kind of like instinctively trained throughout playing so much tennis and throughout a juniors level that it's like very easy natural for kids to learn, as I think for every subject. But if you learned as a kid, it's like so easy and natural and like we don't even think about it. So I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes
I mean, I didn't really get to if I really take tennis when I first started, I would probably say I started in 2020. Like that's where like I
yeah.
actually play. So I don't have any of the fundamentals. I don't have the footwork. Like there's so much to work on, and I think that's the part of the journey that I'm looking forward to see if I can incorporate and build these like fundamentals into my tennis so I don't have to think about like am I crossing over, am I split stepping, am I unit turning at the right time. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, we should see some video. I'm ready
okay, all right,
to
let's do
like
it.
digest things.
So I have the swing vision up and I have some old videos. Where
Do
should we
you
start? Should we
do you
start like
think
last year video?
yeah, we could. I mean up to you. Or
Yeah,
sorry, 4-0 is usually there for you.
the anticipation part, I think I need to definitely figure out. I noticed like yesterday during practice, I just kind of lost track. And I wasn't like really thinking. I was just like thinking like, oh, look at that, and then I forget to move, or the part of it is maybe there's like a fear of like, what if I'm wrong in my anticipation and I move in the wrong direction? And I didn't feel like I had that before, like that hesitation, but I do now. Maybe because I
That's
know the
good.
pace of the ball is faster than before. Like the pace of the ball was just slower when I was playing like last year or the year before. People don't hit as big, and I can just see everything that comes. But now like the pace is significantly faster.
I mean, it's good that you're like thinking about it, right? Like if you didn't think about it at all, that would be concerning. Like not knowing where to go, but instead of like now it's like, am I doing the right thing? Am I going the right way? That's I think that's an improvement and that's like a step because you want to be constantly asking yourself, am I in the right spot?
Yeah, I definitely am starting to look at things a little different. All right, so I'm going to open up this video. Um, this was this is from last year. So the opponent actually, um, I won, I think this match 6-2, 6-0, and it was a 3-5 match.
This is interesting because at least from the points that I'm seeing, you're moving surprisingly active.
Maybe I was more active last year.
That can happen. Okay, let's see. Okay, so yeah, and then why can't I? Okay, I guess I'm 10 seconds in. The first one, yeah, Lyman's feeding. Um, is this from 2 years ago? I mean, this is fine.
No,
I think you're moving
no,
fine.
this is like last Thursday.
I mean, good news is that Lyman split steps now, which is really good. Split step. You could be a bit earlier. Sorry, am I supposed to? I've just been playing through the rallies.
Yeah, yeah,
If
go.
that's cool. I'm at 32, 39 seconds. So, there's
Just
still
go
a
by
second rally.
yeah. So sorry, I'm gonna stop you. Yeah, just go by like timing, and then that way I can speed up and put in like what you're seeing later on.
Okay, I'm at 50 seconds, so I'm just gonna keep it rolling from here. It's like I'll tell you if I stop. Um, yeah, the good news is that Lyman's footsteps, which he didn't used to do, which is really good. Happy to see it. It could be a bit earlier, but I think there I'll probably give him another drill to do on that, in terms of that, because if you start having a drill where he's the volley person or someone else is the volley person, then you have to switch step much earlier. And so, um, I think having you split earlier will come naturally from doing that, or just like since now I'm telling you, um, it's fine. Um, how do I? Yeah, that's that part. I don't know. Is there anything you want me to comment on specifically, or just keep going?
Just whatever you see that you go, I think this is more about just in general, like these are the things that maybe he does okay or well at, and then these are the things that we want to work on, or we want to start focusing more attention on. Um, or yeah, just kind of give like an overview of like where I'm currently at. And,
Yeah.
and based
So,
off like what you know of like watching me play before. Just
I guess the main thing is that I do see like Lyman. So previously he wasn't really split stepping. That's kind of like the main thing that I think triggers, like that's step one, right? From when you first hit a ball, is that you're supposed to split step, and that just preps you to be a lot faster. Because with a one-handed backhand, you have to have really good timing, really good prep. So that was kind of like palm area as like the backhand. Um, Having that prepped early wasn't really a thing, or it just seemed really difficult, off timing sometimes. So we kind of just worked on having a split step for any rally we were doing, hitting position. Um, the main thing was that I feel like Lyman had some trouble doing some weight transfer, or just getting ready set early with his feet, and then getting set and having good weight transfer. There's some like weird footwork patterns. Like I think one thing was like, um, you had your feet angled at a certain direction at some point, where they were like both closed or something. I remember that, like how it was initially, but it was bad. Um, but now, so now I think Lyman sets and turns really nicely. So the big thing is like getting a pivot turn in. So pivot turn, just basically once you split, you have your first, if you're doing a forehand, you're turning your right foot out, um, and in the direction of where you want to run as fast as possible, and your shoulders turn as fast as possible. But your torso and you're still facing forward and being ready to move in any direction, or your right foot's turned right so that you're going to run in the direction that you're going to hit in, which is your forehand in this case, but the rest of your torso is still facing the court, and your head's still facing the court even though your shoulders are turned. um so I think you're moving a lot faster now, it seems, and just like observing the ball more. The main thing I think on your forehand side, that I don't personally like, um is that sometimes when you're hitting an open forehand, your left foot could be angled out more, like your hip angle and like your left foot could be pointing more towards the net. uh Personally for me, I think that's just like if you're on your back foot and you're loading a lot of weight, you got in there early, you're done your pivot, and you're loading your weight onto your back foot. It's kind of weird if your foot's not already pointing at the net, and then you're hitting forward, and your weight tries to go forward because you're naturally like your leg doesn't bend sideways. So having that like left foot pointing towards the net as you're hitting an open shot, um, should hopefully, yeah, like that last shot at point 22, the first forehand. I feel like that last shot could be that last shot could be, you have your foot open more. Sometimes my foot's even pointing at the left, net post on my forehands because I know that like I'm going in the forward direction and it's just like a more stable landing for me. But people have different preferences. Um, Taking more steps to get to the ball is another thing. Um, what else? But I feel like you're there early. Do you not feel earlier these days?
A little bit, yeah. Like I'm not as late as I was before. Um, I definitely could be a little earlier. Just like initial movement from yesterday when I was playing. I mean, when you start seeing like when we're serving and playing full points, I think I become a little bit late maybe. I don't know. I'm looking at like point 32. But my service return, I think the service return, I need to have some type of like consistent movement. Like I'm still kind
Oh,
of
I'm not
figuring
at.
out like how I want to return.
Hmm, I'm not at point 32. I'm at point 28 now.
Okay.
Um, just as a heads up, but yeah, I think well with the returns, I think it's one like that's the hardest shot in my opinion because you have especially in doubles, you have a lot of pressure to get it right, and then also like it's you're hitting the shot off of like someone else hitting their best shot, ideally, because it's the shot that you have the most control over, like as the saying goes. And there's just like a lot of pressure to hit that correctly. But I think with more practice and just understanding, like it's not all within your control, you're doing your best. It should come naturally at some point. Especially like if you've been working on your unit turns and you're just turning fast and you're reacting fast. Um, Yeah, I think the thing I wanted to say with a lot of Lyman's shots is that his arm feels very stiff. Like it feels very rigid and you're like locked in. Um, yeah, but I that's normal if like I think if you get really fixed about how to hit the tennis ball a certain way, like thinking of Tiafo, I guess, like he has such a bad form, but it works for him and it's so stiff. It's fine. That's good. They're at point 37. It's a good return. How do you feel about your serve these days?
Um, Sometimes it's hit or miss. Like if I'm on a good day, I tend to for me,
I paused. Sorry,
yeah.
yeah.
Toss. I'm still having trouble with the toss, like keeping it consistent. Um, and I always feel like I watch a lot of serves. Everybody goes kind of straight up in
Yeah,
wings, but I'm always like tilted because I can tell because my leg it goes out sideways,
right.
balance me out. So, um, like I consciously am trying to go up, and I think a lot of times the toss probably tilts me that way first, and then as I'm trying to go up, I'm like compensating all the different ways. Um,
I'm playing from now I'm on point 43. Um, yeah, I whenever you're getting your body weight in to the court really well and like in this very linear direction instead of like flagging out your leg, like flagging, I don't know how like people refer to it like in rock climbing. Um, like then instead of doing that, like if the weight goes in the court very linearly, then your serve generally looks better. Um, but yeah, I have to pause. Um, I think like with your serve, yeah, if you practice getting your weight into the court by simply like try to pretending to serve and then you're jumping into the court. I mean, you don't have to do this on a test court, but you're jumping into the court and you're landing on your left leg or for lefties, your right leg, and you're just kind of like hanging there in like kind of like a pose position. If you can do that repeatedly, that would be really good because you're just swinging and you like land, and you're just hanging there. Like do a full actual motion serve and not like not like a pretend like, oh, here's something for like to feed a kid or something like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but I feel like it does look like you're getting your weight up a little bit better these days. Like it looks good. It just it does seem like your weight's shifting. Um, oh,
We'll,
it's okay.
we'll
But
work
yeah,
on
no.
it.
Sorry, yeah, I don't mean to be super. Um, yeah, that's 49. Yeah, like having your weight go towards the left a lot, is that what happens usually?
Yeah. Most of the time I tend to feel like I'm going left for sure. Sometimes sometimes I know I'm going like linear, like, but it's very rare. Most of the times I do tend to fall left.
Oh, the other thing you're supposed to do with that serve drill is like when you land on your left leg, you want to have your racket finishing at your right.
Okay.
Yeah, and you just kind of like hang there, and it's like it is difficult, and it's hard to think about both having landing on your leg and holding that position, but also keeping your racket towards the right. It's quite hard. In practice, you don't really have to. You can finish on your left, but for that drill specifically, you like you serve, land, and then you finish with the racket on your right. Um, I forgot what it does. It's like pronation or whatever.
Okay.
Um, if people disagree, I don't care. Um, yeah. Okay. Continuing, number 50. Did you and Leslie just play points after this? Or like,
We just played points. I think we end up we weren't really counting sets or anything. Oh, we were counting the games, but I forgot what we ended. He took the first set. I think I think I was ahead in the second set, but we can just move on to like summary.
um, I think I think in terms of a lot of the strokes, it's just getting them cleaned up. Like I think in the next year, it'd be nice to have just starting from the split step. That's already covered, great. And the next part of the form is, when you turn, is he doing that on time and like, or is he doing that fast enough? The next part, and then we progressive this like slowly on both sides, forehand, backhand. Um, are you shifting your weight well? Are you taking your racket back correctly? That was a nice shot. Sorry, I'm still watching while I say this. By the way, if people don't know, like I think you have to clip this intervention at some point. Leslie hits quite hard. He like really smacks the ball and you can't really tell. And Lyman's doing a good job reacting. He's like, yeah. Your backhand's also pretty good. It's with Leslie. What was I gonna say? Yeah, and I think just having him look and also hit that he's like on balance all the time for every shot, that would be great. Having him when he's playing a tournament, especially like hitting his pace of ball. Um, I mean, not as hard as like Leslie would, but just hitting fast, hitting steady, being confident and getting to the net. We see point construction. We see hopefully like a majority of the right choices in terms of like where we should be moving and where we should be attacking the ball. No one does everything perfectly, but we're also not drop shotting from the baseline. Um, kind of decisions like basically making smart decisions. Hopefully next year or just in this year, we're also doing a lot of doubles. Um, I think would be nice to see like some very instinctual movement for both singles and doubles, but we've been trying to cover like the moving pattern for doubles, so that would be nice. Yeah, I think just like instinctively knowing where to go and being able to hit the correct shot majority of the time at every part of the court would be great. But slowly working through like from your split step to the ball leaving your racket and recovering for the next shot. We're going to like work through every single part of that, I don't know, cascade of like movement for every single stroke of tennis that Lyman has.
Cool. I'm excited. So what do you want? me to do for this next week since um, it's kind of a shorter week because our cadence is every Sunday.
Okay, this oh, I see. Um, let's
Or I mean,
see.
we could modify it. It doesn't really matter. But I guess just like what would you so what should we do for what should we work on first? What do you want to work on first?
Um, I think for now footwork is fine. Do you have a video of you practicing?
Yeah, the video of me practicing.
Your footwork definitely got better. I think a lot of it's looking better, or I think it's good. I don't know if you feel like it's good,
I think my
because that's
weight transfer, I do notice I split like after watching videos, I split step like I land after they hit a little bit,
yeah,
right? I
that's exactly what yeah. Okay, that's exactly I think I would like to have is that you split and then you land as they're hitting or even slightly before they're hitting. I think the first for now, I think having your left foot set just on your forehand for like the next week would be good. So just a bunch of footwork things with your forehand. So first things first is like when you're hitting an open shot, your left foot angle that we talked about. Um, the other thing is like with this four shot drill, being fast and recovering. So you should be like, yeah, so we'll work on footwork and weight momentum for this week. So what should happen is that your left foot is tilted or turned correctly towards the net more, and then you should hit going into the shot a lot so that your right foot comes around your body. Yeah, yeah. But basically your right foot, you're hitting with so much momentum that your right foot's coming around and it's like slightly in front of your body, and so is your like your hips and your shoulders are kind of like tilted so that you're lined up with the right net post. Um, and then your foot should come around in front. So your right foot comes around in front, and you do this karaoke into a shuffle um, to recover. Obviously, like if you're hitting from back to front and you're deep in the back of the court, you can obviously kind of like run. But that first step where you're after your foot's come around after the shot, that first step where you like cross over, that should be very instinctive. We had Lyman do this four shot drill because there was a little bit of like previously just like hesitation from trying to go into the court. So just having him go into the court and like feeling this approach shot and knowing like instinctively, like in this case it's very obvious, like but for him just knowing that this is an approach shot, attack it, go in, get in as fast as you can, bring in a lot of momentum with you to the net. um but it seems like it's working to some. Can I play again? In this case it seems like it's working, or at least it seems like you're more comfortable because with the video of Leslie you do seem to step in a lot faster um than at least like watching you from a match. So that's really good. Um,
I did yesterday because we were playing doubles and yeah, the as soon as I saw an approach shot, my first thought was like, line up, hit, and keep the momentum forward. So it's starting to become, even though I'm like consciously thinking about it still, but that's like my first reaction because I want to like hit and move forward. And I was catching myself, even though I didn't execute, I still like was, I want to hit the ball. They look like they're on defense. I need to press the net. And
yeah,
but even though I thought it, I didn't do it. It was more like with the fact. But I guess, it takes time, right? Like I'm gonna start going, oh, I see it, I gotta move. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
recognizing it. I'm not, it's not being automated yet.
At some point, you'll stop thinking about it and will be automatic. So I think no, no stress there. But this is good. I think, yeah, have just for now, I think correcting, like having your hip open more, not just make sure you're not like feeling like you're stretching yourself out, but just having it try to be naturally more open. And then you can feel with the shots, like maybe just hit forehands for a little bit where you feel like you're going from back to forward and your leg comes around. Back to forward, your leg comes around. And then after that, you add yourself crossover. Okay, I'm crossing over and taking a split step from like a step further away, and then back out, take steps over, set yourself back, forward, hit the shot, the leg is coming around, and then cross over, and then recovering back, and then you go and further, like you're hitting from the center at first, and you go further and further out to develop like that feeling of crossing over. Um, the other drill, I guess I'll draw this out for you later, but the other drill would be hitting one forehand that's deep, one forehand that's parallel or like at baseline, and one forehand that's forward, and then having to recover back every single time. And so you're going back, hitting, and then going to the middle, and then going to the baseline, hit back to along the baseline, and then forward, hit, but you still recover back. Because every single time that right leg should swing out and be in front of you as you're hitting, because you're hitting ideally with so much momentum. So maybe we'll start there for this week since it's a
Okay.
short week too. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. And then like the karaoke step, does it matter if I go front or back when I cross over? Is it always like when you cross back over, like I hit, and I guess it would make sense to cross over the front,
It
right?
should cross over the front because your right foot should be in front of you
Got it.
as you're hitting. Like you know how like when you see a lot of people hit cue and clip, as soon as you see a lot of people hit professionally, they like are jumping. Like you see that like like that advertisement, boom, and then they get off the ground. You see like Djokovic, everybody like who's professional does it.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not because they're actively jumping. It's because they're hitting ideally with so much momentum that they're just like they want to rotate their body around their center and get that like energy into the ball that you're putting that energy into the air as well because you're like this is what is this process called, like you're having this like momentum generated from your feet and it's rising and going up through your legs as you rotate and as you're pushing with all your muscles, and then it's going through your hips and then through your torso and into your shoulders and then into your arms. It goes in this upward direction naturally even though you're hitting the ball forward. That
Yeah.
momentum is, yeah.
Yeah, you're driving from the floor, so you're like building everything from the ground.
Yeah, so naturally like your body, like your feet are gonna land, your right foot's gonna land in front of you and your body's gonna switch. And you can even do the drill or do all of these forehand drills like with where you just like purposely switch, like with control you hit and then you switch so that your right foot's in front purposely just for a little bit, and then as you get that feeling you should maybe keep your left foot on the ground because we're not all like professionals. Try to stay on the ground.
Yeah.
um yeah, like don't jump just because I we just talked about it. um
Yeah, I want to
yeah, if
look
you're
pro though, you know?
it'll look pro, but no, don't, like that's we're not like don't do that. It's better if you keep your foot on the ground. It's just like they're in a hurry, they don't notice it, or like they're getting a lot of momentum in. um but like yeah, do the drill maybe where you do purposely kind of switch a little bit just to get that feeling in, and then you keep your left foot on the ground and you're hitting forward and your right foot comes and swings around.
Okay, cool.
Easy.
So recap is we're working on footwork, making sure my left foot is more pointed towards the net or maybe in the left post, and we're working on weight transfer.
Yeah, pretty much. Try to get back to the cone as much as possible, especially on this four ball drill. Like you want to be, I don't want to say like hustling, but you want to like you could give yourself like 10 seconds time between the four balls, but between shots you want to try to like be fast on your feet.
Okay, yeah, I'll work on that. Do you want me to go around the cone or like in front of the cone? How does that normally work?
Go around the cone and go in front of the cone. Go so you go in
Like
front
move and then
to
back
the
behind
side.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
front, side, back. So you're moving to the front first, and then when you hit the next shot, you're starting from behind the cone.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, Bryce. I'll get to work this week and we'll connect next week and I'll show you what I've been working on and we'll keep working on improving step by step. Hit the subscribe button and follow me on my journey.